such good software that it has all of the bugs that Magic Online has on Windows, only under Linux. Is the national bird is an owl, the national food would be a Five Guys veggie. So that's true. We need some official things for Hoaglandia. For a person stepping back into Modern, played Lantern for a long time, what deck has raw power to make up for not playing Modern? Definitely Hallowed One. I think Hallowed One is just an absurdly powerful deck. And don't let the fact that the word random is printed on cards inside of the Hallowed One deck, how the Hallowed One deck is extremely consistent. That guide's actually kind of out of date at this point. There's a Docker image that makes it super easy to install Magic Online on Linux. There's also just Wine 3, just works out of the box, I believe, if you install the .NET stuff. Yeah, Matt, dude. Especially for FNM, like the things that are competitive at FNM versus competitive in other places, like the bar is definitely lower there. So my recommendation would just be like looking on Goldfish and then comparing prices for things of decks that have been successful. Grixis Shadow, it looks like. I assume we're going to lose our Liliana the Veil here. This is one of our better cards in this matchup. I'm gonna go ahead and play this out. Our Tarmogoyf is huge, which is great. Are there any websites that offer good sideboarding guides? No, there aren't any websites that like all they do is offer sideboarding guides. So I'm gonna start by attacking with this and see what happens. I think I'm gonna play the Scavenging Ooze. While the Scavenging Ooze can die to a Lightning Bolt here, I think it's valuable to start taking cards out of my opponent's discard pile, because worth noting, they are one card off of being able to play a Gurmag Angler out. So I think being able to like attack their graveyard here is valuable. So I'm gonna go ahead and eat their Street Wraith here. It's also possible I should have just, like, played my other Tarmogoyf, just to, like, put lethal into play. The Phoenix Wolf with that 7-month resubscription. Thank you very much and welcome back. I appreciate the continued support. Thanks for keeping me employed here. You've got a 6-month sword. Remember, it's not going to just pop up something that says invite link, Tony. It's going to, in your settings, it's going to show you, in your settings, it's going to show you a link to the server, and you're going to have to click join on it. Narek, with the brand new tier 2 sub, thank you very much for that generous level of support. Be sure to drop me a whisper or a DM here on Twitch or Twitter or Discord, and let me know what deck you'd like to bump in the queue this month. As always, tier 2 subs and tier 3 subs get to bump decks in the queue. Tier 3 subs can actually add new decks to the queue. Yeah, the Discord server was just synced, so it's not a sync issue. When you're getting into the Discord server, the thing that a lot of people miss when I describe it is you need to make sure you are using your desktop browser. So you can't connect to the server using the mobile client. I have another shadow here. That's unfortunate. Really need a piece of removal. Yep, the tier 2 sub is $9.99. So tier 2 subs get to bump a deck that's already in the queue by 10 points when they subscribe. Another month of great content. This number is getting large. It is Big Nuki. 29 months. Thanks for putting up with me for so long. I appreciate it. I think I'm going to do this and then just pass the turn here. The slightly awkward position that I'm in now is that I'm dead to Temur, Battle Rage, and Bolt if I don't block here, but I think I'm supposed to run the no blocks. I don't know. It's so close. And now I have to block because I'm dead to the fetch land if I don't. But we're never beating Temur, Battle Rage here, so... Yep. Tough beat. Lost her only relevant removal spell and then just kind of died. This is a matchup where Cast Down is great. This is a matchup where EE and Gaze of Granite are fine. Damnation is good. Languish comes up a little bit short here. Last Hope is kind of mediocre. Collective Brutality is pretty bad. It's pretty good easy in, easy out. I think I like that. I think Damnation's fine. I think Damnation is worthwhile just because it can 1-for-1 your opponent. Yeah, I'm on cornfield time. It is 1/4 to noon where I am at. Oh, Pernicious Deed in Modern. I wouldn't mind an updated Pernicious Deed that like killed Planeswalkers too. I feel like it's out of character basically if they reprinted exactly Pernicious Deed instead of reprinting it to also have it kill Planeswalkers. This Goyf can die to a Lightning Bolt here, but I really just want to use my mana this turn. Moto is great at what it does. It's good. It's good at letting you play Magic. It's not pretty, but it is very functional. If you're someone that's just looking to play lots of Magic in an efficient manner, Magic Online is very good at letting you do that. So while Death Shadow is often their larger creature in matchups like this, it's actually their delve threats that are often most scary for our deck. Because if you look at our removal, we have a bunch of copies of like Fatal Push and Abrupt Decay. And so we actually have very few pieces of removal that can kill the delve threats, whereas we have lots of removal that can often interact with their Death Shadow. Where can I find a deck list for blue-red fairies? I tweeted it at some point. Dismember. It'll be up on Stream Decker when we get to it later today. We've also played earlier iterations of it, and they're posted on my YouTube channel at different points. But the exact list I'm playing today, I think I tweeted at some point. I forgot to post an Imgur link earlier. I'm going to play this tracker. Lightning Bolt here is definitely a reason to have played the Goyf out instead. I like that Gaze of Granite. You can play Magic Online on your OS X computer using Wine. That's how I'm playing. I'm streaming from a Linux computer right now, and Magic Online runs perfectly fine on it. I really like Gaze of Granite because it's a sweeper that gets to come in against humans. That's also good against decks like Lantern Control and Bogles. It's just got, while it's a little bit expensive sometimes, it's got very good flexibility. It's also a sweeper that very rarely kills our Tasigurs, which is nice. Yeah, like this is super awkward for us, right? Like I have 2 pieces of removal in my hand and none of them kill this. Yeah, honestly, I actually added the cast down to the board from the list that was submitted. The original black-green list that someone had submitted didn't have any cast downs in it. I honestly wouldn't mind a second cast down with Grixis Shadow being a deck that's been increased in popularity again. You should check out my articles here. I have an article from last month or the month before talking about why I prefer black-green rock to Abzan or Jund. Yeah, cast down is very, very reasonable against Solid 1. The fact that this is connecting is really good for us here, because it means both Treetop Village and Tireless Tracker are lethal next turn. So we're in a pretty good spot here. They need to put like a second Delve Threat into play. They can't put a... I put together your iteration of Naya Landfall in paper, and it's by far easily the best interactive deck I've played in a long time. Yeah, I agree. As far as interactive decks go, it's super, super great. So, the problem here... No, I wanted to crack the clue. I think I'm okay losing to Temur Battle Rage plus Bolt. I wanted to crack the clue because I wanted to put them to 3, because I wanted Treetop Village to be lethal. That's a good draw. Let's gobble up their Faithless Looting here. I mean, for context, Alex, we had almost 90 when I put the queue into freeze mode. So I am making good headway. In less than 2 weeks, or about 2 weeks now, I've cut like 30, almost 30 decks out of it. So I'm having the desired impact. The more I think about it, the more I'm coming to the conclusion that I'm likely just going to be like freeze the queue every like 3 months. So like I have 2-month spans or so where it's $10 to get a deck into the queue, and then we'll have like every 3rd month I'll raise the price so I can work it down. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and block here now, because I think I actually can afford to beat Temur Battle Rage plus Bolt with the position I'm in. So now they need double removal. They have 2 lethal threats. And Snapcaster Mage isn't going to be good enough because I have Fatal Push. Oh, I guess I could have, like, Push Snapcaster Push. But that doesn't work because I have Scavenging Ooze. Well, I could push this first. I think I'm pretty happy with how I sideboarded here. I don't think I want any of these other cards. No rule breakage at all, Neckfire. Unless you said something I missed. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and submit here, I think. Thanks, Neckfire. Yeah. He's just, you know, tiny, hateful men are going to be tiny and hateful. I really am not a fan. I really feel like I just need to prioritize having as much removal as possible, because if I can keep all their threats off the table, I think I'm a strong favorite. I think Inquisition is worth keeping in because I expect my opponent to leave Stubborn Denial in against me post-board. So I think that makes Inquisition worthwhile. Taking Snapcaster Mages is also very valuable. Huh. This is actually interesting. I think I take the Dismember just so they have a harder time getting Death Shadow into play. Their hand's pretty bad. What's going on, Ice Kiwi? Perfect. Double stub. Huh. I'm kind of surprised they didn't just stub this. So the fact that they didn't stub this sends me the message that they'd rather have me take Fatal Push than Stubborn Denial. Right? Because they could have chosen to let me... They could have chosen to make me take this, right? Yeah, I think I need to take the stubs just because I don't want to die to a Delve threat. Sorry, I've been trying to mute when I'm congested. It is 2 free damage, that's true. I think I'm going to go ahead and play Tarmogoyf out here. Just like get the Fatal Push out of their hand. Thanks for the $1 dues, bro. Enjoy the rest of your life. I'm glad Twitch subs are non-refundable. Alright, so they burn the Fatal Push. They have Stub, Island, and 2 cards I don't know. No, anybody can clip videos. This clip should work. It just told me it was trending. Shannon with the 20 month. Thanks for putting up with me for so long. Welcome back. I do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the continued support. We're going to play some Griselbrand today. There is no official way to use Magic Online on OS X. There is an unofficial way to use Magic Online on OS X using a software called Wine. So we're definitely losing Maelstrom Pulse here, right? That's really interesting. Okay, that makes sense. They're just taking both my pushes. Moto uses you. I think I'm going to hold these in the event of Tireless Tracker. I think I want to hold these in the event of Tireless Tracker. We know their last card is Stub. I think I'm just going to push this and keep my health total high. If they draw like exactly Death Shadow, I feel bad. But otherwise, this is a pretty good push. This is my preferred. I like this main deck a good bit. I'm not sure if I like 4 Liliana the Veils, but I do like this main deck a good bit. They have double Stub here. They could just have like Stub plus Lightning Bolt. They have another Snap. Okay, that makes sense. I am told that in yesterday's update, the Liliana the Veil bug was fixed. So that's why we're playing her again. What was the bug? If you plussed Liliana with only one card in your hand, MTGO locked up. They couldn't snap stub because they didn't have triple blue chat. They draw a Delve threat. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a looting, not a bolt, Bob. That was a good draw on our part. So we get to kill this, and then I actually get to start activating Tasigur here, huh? Which is great. So remember, when you delve with Tasigur, you want to get rid of the cards that you don't want them to give you back. So I want to get rid of the discard spells here. And I think I'm just going to leave Goyf and Pulse in here because I'm fine drawing either of those. So you want to use Tasigur's activation to thin cards you don't want them to give you back out of your hand. Oh, we went 3-2 in the Vizier League. The build was really sweet. Felt really trim. Find a Delve threat of their own. And are we going to have a Tass off? It's possible I should have delved the Goyf too and just like had mono removal in here. Ideally, we flip 2 lands over here, so that way they have to give us back one of these 3 really good cards. All right, I assume we're getting Abrupt Decay here. Peace, Nivik. Yeah, I plan to go for like 5 more hours or so today to make up for ending early yesterday. Treetop Village. That's pretty good. SGX Cough. Thank you for the 2-month resub. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for re-upping here, keeping me employed. I do appreciate it. That's an interesting idea. Possibly. I also didn't want to activate Tasigur, though, in the event they drew a discard spell. Because, like, if they drew a discard spell, activating Tasigur gives them a live card to take out of my hand, basically. That's great. They have to give us Goyf, Pulse, or Liliana here. It's going to be Snap Fatal Push. Okay. My lunch is here. I'll be right back. Past Jeff had a brilliant idea this morning. He remembered that Jimmy John's offers the ability to schedule delivery in advance. So at 9 a.m. this morning, before I signed on, I scheduled Jimmy John's to deliver me a sandwich. because I know from personal experience that I always feel better during a long stream if I eat an actual meal. 6 months, this proves that there is not a lot of great content on Twitch, but yours definitely is keeping up. Well, thank you for the 6-month resub. I do appreciate it, Warblazer. Welcome back. It's like $12 with a tip to get a sandwich plus chips delivered. Wow, they gave me Damnation, chat. This is such an absurd... Why would they cast that? I was pretty committed to damnationing the board anyways, but... Alright, you do you, I guess. That seems like a really loose line from the opponent. Alright, what do we not want back with this? I'm kind of okay with most of these, right? I guess I don't want the Damnation back. Probably not this Tasigur. I think I'm okay with the rest of these. Let's do that. Let's leave Liliana and Goyf. I want to leave a threat in there. The way Twitch works, though, if I take a break in the middle of streaming to like go make myself an actual sandwich upstairs, you lose droves of viewers on Twitch if you're ever gone for more than 60 seconds. So I understand how this job works. So I definitely make more money having more viewers here and paying for a sandwich to be delivered. So I'm going to plus this before I attack in case their last card is Fatal Push. They left Temur Battle Raging against us. That's interesting. Moto's taking its good sweet time. All right, we're 1-0. While we're waiting for the next match to pop, I'd just like to thank everyone for hanging out today. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer, memer, content producer here on Twitch. I stream a ton of Magic. I'm here 30+ hours a week. Big shout out, as always, to my subscribers. Without my wonderful subscribers, I would not be here full-time. They are the folks that keep me employed, so a big thank you to all of them. Past subscribing, you can also support my content by checking out some of my wonderful sponsors. Cardsphere.com would love to help you turn some of your cards into other cards or cash direct with other players. There's no haggling. They just take a 1% fee off the top. InkedGaming.com would love to help you customize your gaming experience. Using code Jeff12, you can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, and bags with them. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. And of course, this stream wouldn't be possible without viewers like Anironix, Justin Nivik, and all y'all out there. Thanks for hanging out. There's a lot of different people making a lot of great stuff, and I appreciate you choosing to spend part of your day here with us. I'm going to mute myself for a minute or so here while I eat this wonderful sandwich that was delivered. Thanks for hanging out, folks. Don't go anywhere. We've got this league and 2 or 3 more before I wrap up for the day. Erdian wins. Thank you for that brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate it. Welcome. I like this 75. So a viewer had donated for to see their deck 3 times, and I made some changes the second time through because I really wasn't happy with their sideboard. I think at most I would change in this list because I kind of want a second cast down in the 75, but I like a lot of the decisions this list has made. That's pretty unfortunate for us. If they hadn't had the Spell Pierce, I think we'd be in a pretty great spot here, but with the Spell Pierce, I'm feeling pretty far behind. It's very possible that because they had the Spell Pierce for Liliana the last hope, I'm just supposed to be conservative with my health total and, like, leave the Scavenging Ooze back to trade with the Silver Adept here. What do I think of Dredge in Modern? I think Dredge is a really sweet deck that has a lot of great lines in it, but it just gets hosed by sideboard hate. And there's so many decks that incidentally use the graveyard in Modern right now, like Storm and Hallowed One, that people are playing a lot of graveyard hate and basically hating out Dredge by mistake as a result. If you look on my YouTube channel, we actually streamed Dredge a couple of times fairly recently. Search Jeff Hoagland Dredge on YouTube. I always do a wrap-up segment at the end of my videos talking about things I liked or disliked about a given deck list. So you can definitely find me talking about my thoughts on Dredge after having just played it, on YouTube. That's a great draw. I think I actually just want to drain them here. I'm going to, like, kill their thing game 2. Bin this extra Tireless Tracker. Replay the Scavenging Ooze. I think this deck is fine, Bob. I don't know if I'd play this deck in an actual tournament, though, because Modern's a format where you're generally incentivized to play decks that get some number of free wins. And while this deck is a great 55% deck that, like, generates a lot of what I consider interesting games of Magic, I don't think it really ever checks that it's going to get a free win when it sits onto the table for a given matchup. You have to work for every single win you get with this deck, and that's really taxing over a long tournament. I think JAC is great, and that is definitely my fallback deck for SCG Indy if I can't find anything else that I like. JAC is definitely my go-to deck. Do you get more money in terms of views on Twitch or YouTube? In terms of just raw ad revenue, YouTube generates more ad revenue than Twitch, but a significant portion of my income comes from Twitch subs and donation deck lists. Like, as far as, like, ad revenue and, like, my sponsor banners down here and like YouTube revenue and stuff like that, that probably only accounts for, like, at most 20% of my revenue. Like, 75 to 80% of my revenue month to month comes from direct support from people. I don't think it's worth Field of Ruining the Mutavault aggressively there, because they're going to have 2 creature lands to fire up regardless, and, like, killing the Mutavault aggressively basically only saves them 1 point of mana efficiency. I don't think that's really worthwhile for me. It's really awkward that I keep drawing 3 mana cards and don't have a 6th land. Like, being able to double spell is what I need to be able to do to catch back up this game, and just, like, not being able to do it is definitely going to cost us. Also, like, this removal spell doesn't hit these creature lands, so it's going to die to those. Yeah, it seems sweet in Merfolk. Like I said, I think both of these creature lands are well positioned in Modern. As part of the reason the Fairies deck is good, I think. I really like having 2 Maelstrom Pulse in the main board of this deck. I think I would cut I would cut a copy of Abrupt Decay to get a cast out into my main deck before I cut a copy of Maelstrom Pulse, just because Maelstrom Pulse is really good at not only generating card advantage, but also just like cleaning up random problems. Yeah, 4th Liliana the Veil is also not an unreasonable trim. Alright, so now I'm going to Field of Ruin. And the reason why I'm doing this now is because they won't be able to activate 2 creature lands regardless here. So I'm going to do this. I got Forest here because I have Urborg to make plenty of black mana. Then I'm going to Maelstrom Pulse to clean up these Silvergill Adepts. Gamlands, thank you very much for the brand new Twitch Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month. You think Affinity's well positioned in the format? It's okay. It's fine. I don't want to call it good, but I'd call it fine. Do I want to plus this Liliana the Veil? So, plussing... They fixed the Liliana bug bowl loss. I think I'm going to play this and just pass. They have this Trickster in their hand, so I know they can flash this in. What's going on, Pythrian? Welcome back. If this was an untapped land, I definitely would have held it. But, like, if I draw another 3-mana spell, I really wanted to be able to play 2 3-mana spells in a turn. Which I think is a big deal. Also, this allows me to, like, crack this clue into a Fatal Push next turn, potentially. Which is nice. So we're dead to a few things here. But can't really play around any of it. I'm actually kind of surprised we're as in this game as we are, considering how many lands we've drawn and like how clunky our cards are. Like, being this far in this game while having drawn 0 Fatal Pushes is like pretty impressive. So we get to make 2 clues next turn. No, these are non-foils. That's just, like, sweet artwork. Sweet, they're killing Liliana. That's good for us. Oh, baby. Oh, baby, baby. Ooh, baby, babe. I have no idea, but I'll take it. Oh, jeez, chat. Chat. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. I'm not going to make and crack a clue here because I guess making and cracking a clue puts them on a 1-turn shorter clock, but I want to be able to Fatal Push this Fairy Conclave and not get Spell Pierced and blown off of it. Oh, I have lethal with the creature land anyways. Yeah, you're totally correct. Good for pointing that out. Hate to fetch a swamp and crack my clue here. Lots of lethal draws. Lands gives us redraws. That's a lethal draw, right? Nope, that's not the one I want to cast. Tracker is so good in this archetype. I can't even put into words how much better Tracker is than Dark Confidant in these decks. Like, If you're playing Dark Confidant and you're not playing Tracker, you really need to test Tracker. The card is absurd. It's much, much better. Like, not only did it not... Like, we couldn't afford the health to have played a Dark Confidant this game, and Tracker just killed them so much quickly, so much faster, right? Like, it traded, it kept one of their creatures at bay, it attacked for 5 and then 6, just, like, so very good. Look at all these cards I get to sideboard in. Who's excited? Cut all of this. This is probably too many 4-mana spells. Baloth is probably not good enough. No, I don't think Fulminator's worth it. It's possible Maelstrom Pulse is narrow, but I also need ways to kill Master of Waves. I guess Fatal Push and Brutality do that too. What do you think of just like bringing my curve down? I kind of like this. Liliana is probably not a bad trim either. Yeah, I think Last Hope is good. Last Hope kills Silvergill Adept, Master of Waves, and it rebuys our threats. It's possible I don't want to get stranded with 2 Tasigurs in my hand. I kind of don't mind the idea of keeping a couple Inquisitions in, especially since they're a Spell Pierce deck. What do we think of this? I kind of like Pulse better than Liliana too. I think I like this. Yeah, I really kind of like more IOK too. Like, if we draw Inquisitions late, we can discard them to Brutalities for value still. Yeah, Languish is sweet. Languish generally doesn't kill our Tarmogoyfs, and it doesn't kill our Tasigurs, and it can sometimes not kill our Scavenging Oozes and Tireless Trackers too, so it's like a one-sided sweeper, basically. Yeah, I think getting caught with too many 3-mana spells in our hand is a real liability in this matchup. So, like, trimming Liliana to, like, bring our curve down is very reasonable. I think I'm just going to Brutality here. I think even with the Damnation, I just want to keep the board pretty clear aggressively. I think trying to get overly greedy with Damnations is one of the best ways to lose this game. You just, like, take too much pressure to your health total. Yeah, like, this is great, right? I'm just going to fetch Shock here and, like, Liliana Edict you. Misfortune that actually happened to me yesterday. You need to call Magic Online customer support. There's been a group of people that have been brute forcing into Magic Online accounts because Magic Online doesn't have 2-factor authentication. So they're disabling trading on compromised accounts, but their email notifications aren't going out. What do I want to do here? Yeah, I think I like binning Tracker here. I also feel like I just kind of want to pass the turn. But at the same time, like, Spell Pierce makes me want to play a threat out. Thanks, Bert. Yeah, I think I'm going to plus this and then play Tarmogoyf here just so I can, like, threaten to pressure them a little bit. Because, like, even though my Liliana is going to die here to the Kira in the air, I basically traded my Tireless Tracker for their Lord, which is, like, a good trade for us, right? Yeah, basically, Burgle, I held the Scavenging Ooze because I want to play this post-Damnation. You can also just call their phone number, Misfortune. Like, when I called their phone number, I sat on hold for like 10 minutes, and then they fixed it in like less than 5. Now that I have a second Scooze, I'm going to play out this first one for sure. I assume they have the instant speed, Dorko. Yeah, it's much faster. They're out chilling you. God, untapped land. Untapped land. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Hit me. Hit me, dealer. Come on. Come on. We played 25 lands. Untapped land. Untapped land. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah. Ah, Temple of Tilt. Why, Temple of Tilt? Why? Oh, chat. Oh, chat. Why? Do 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 do. Am I dead? I think we're dead, chat. I think we're dead. We're not quite dead just yet, right? This is only 10. Yeah, I stood for the first bit today. Is that lethal? This is 8, 11. Oh, jeez. I get to gain 1 and then I get to Damnation them, right? I'm going to 1 here. I think I'm going to 1 here. So you're saying there's a chance. Oh, no! Come on! Come on! Seriously? Your last card is Mutavault? I was like, well, at least there's no other last card they could have that kills us here. What a tilt. What a tilt. This is why you should play 25 lands, chat. One of the first things so many people do when they ask me about my green blacklist is they're like, can I cut a land? It seems like you have too many lands. It's just like, you will lose far more games with this deck from drawing too many lands compared to not having enough lands. We need a second for Hogland does social media. I could see his justification. Basically, this person is trying to justify sexism. What you just described is good decision making. You made a decision based on which one of you can make more money at your job. You didn't make that decision based on being male / female. Making decisions based on gender is the definition of sexism. That is what people are so dumb. When I interact with random people on the internet who don't understand the definitions of words, I understand why people have trouble with things like elementary algebra. Like math really isn't that hard, but like if you don't understand how to understand the definition of words, like math gets very difficult if you don't understand what words mean. So, like, a lot of them I ignore, but, like, this person I just responded to here, this person has, you know, 400 followers on Twitter, and Cardsphere, one of my sponsors, is following them. So, like, I feel like I need to reply and explain to this person, like, the random eggs and, like, has no one following them, like, that's whatever. I've blocked and muted a lot of people. But to like have a following and be spewing some of that filth is just like, Kalitas is a pretty good pickup here. I don't know, like, and that's part of the problem with our society today too. Like, people say I don't agree with your opinion. Well, like, some of this isn't my opinion. Like, the definition of a word isn't an opinion. It's not my opinion that 2 + 2 = 4. It's a fact. It's a definition. It's how words and definitions work, chat. We are about to mess this Merfolk player up. They are about to die. We're gonna Liliana plus here, Maelstrom Pulse, Fatal Push, have a bunch of zomboys and girls, just like, they are about to have a very bad day. Words have meanings. That's like when people say to me, well, you said, or well, you implied, and it's like, well, that's not actually what I said. That's not what the words I used meant. The words I used have meanings, and I picked the words I was using for specific reasons because they meant something to me. Some of the time I just fire it off while I'm streaming here, and I've gotten myself into a little bit of trouble there, but I usually proofread it back to myself. Yeah, I'm holding the fetch land for the tracker here for sure. We're pretty far ahead at this point, so... Grab my boots, I'm tapping in. Terran Terror, thank you for the 3-month big resub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Be sure to drop me a line and let me know. If you'd like to add a new deck to the queue, use the Google form linked under the stream. If you'd like to bump a deck in the queue that's already there, drop me a whisper and we can take care of that. Yeah, it's the normal customer service line, Misfortune. It should give you in the automated menu something for their digital stuff. You're not wrong, Burgle. You're not wrong. I definitely used to respond more than I do now. You're gonna refresh themselves on math we learned in high school and college. I don't really have any good tools for that personally, Ribbon. That's not something I've had to do myself. 3 months of fun money. Zoran and NA, can you tell me how to pronounce your username? Because I'm just gonna butcher it. I'm just gonna butcher it. So basically, being a teacher and being a Twitch streamer, being a parent, these are all very similar. And it's very similar to interacting with people that aren't terribly bright on Twitter too. Basically, all you do is repeat yourself by and large. Everything I say is mostly something I've already said, but I'm gonna say it in different ways to hopefully try and get through to these people. Learn the difference between syntax and semantics. I mean, like, what's even, like, you break down all principles of language if you're telling me my words don't have meanings. If my words don't mean what we've written down in the dictionary, what's the point in even trying to communicate with each other? We should just, like, grunt and pound our chests and fling our feces at each other, right? If my words don't have meanings that we can all agree on. Like, we write this stuff down for a reason. This is a pretty good turn for them. Peace, Calhones. So they get to nug our Liliana here. We have these clues, so we're actually in a little bit of trouble, I guess. Nah, not really. Kalitas is hard to race. We're gonna sack some zomboys and girls and make this real big. We get to attack me for 1 here, which isn't a big deal. Any piece of spot removal and we're very in this game. If we miss on spot removal for a little bit, we could be in trouble. Yeah, Grave Titan's too much mana. This deck already has a lot of clunk. Does not need more clunk. That's a fatal push. God bless. All right, so let's do this. Let's do this. Sacrifice this. Smack you for 9. Gain 5. The best way to fit Grave Titan into your green-black mid-range deck is in your hand while you're dying on turn 4 without enough mana to play it. Words often have multiple definitions to them, but as we grow and evolve as a society, the most commonly used definition becomes the one that's most associated with it. A great non-controversial example of this is, did you know that in the dictionary, a computer is listed as someone who computes numbers? But when I refer to my computer, I don't mean a person in my home who's computing numbers, right? Like, I'm referring to the electronic computer that I own, right? And the reason why we accept that as being the case is because the common definition of the word computer is what we mean it to be, right? So as we grow and change as people, those definitions are going to be the ones that matter are the ones that we use them in terms of the context that they're brought up in. So I get to play Scavenging Ooze out here. They're obligated to block one of these. I shrunk this as opposed to this because if they blocked with this, it would unlock my Tireless Tracker. And I agree that words change as we use them as a society, but to imply that the words are in a state of constant flux, where like this word never has a meaning because it's always going to be changing, that's absurd. There is definitely this is the modern usage of this word because this is how we use it most commonly. Yes, words are anchored in the time in which they exist. I agree with that assessment wholeheartedly. Thanks, FC Lorat. That's true. Poor Scavenging Ooze is going hungry because Kalitas went to town on the food supply. I want a real job when I graduate. Thanks, Knight of St. Traft. I'm just gonna be here doing what I do. No, it doesn't. Interacting with angry people on the internet is basically just like par for the course. Alright, so let's put this Kalitas into play so we make some more zombies here. I guess I just have lethal if I hit a fatal push, right? So I should try and find that. Right, Azintoth? I'm all about the free publicity. So, I mean, you have to block here, bud, or you're dead. So I get 2 more zombies. And it says, someone was talking earlier about could they trim Liliana in this deck. I honestly think just like main decking a copy of Kalitas goes a long way in how creature-based Modern is. This card is absurdly powerful. So like this game has just been a great example of how it takes over. As someone who has done both the get angry and nasty back approach and also done the kill them with kindness approach, killing angry people on the internet with kindness, just like drowning them in pleasantries, is so great. It tends to make them so upset. You just want to, if someone is mean to you and you're nice to them in response, they usually get either confused or upset. They're either confused because they were expecting anger back, or they get upset because they were trying to goad you into making you upset, and when you didn't get upset, it pisses them off. All right, so I'm gonna do this, and I have this field over. They're just super dead, right? The Mr. Rogers School of Trolling is a powerful tool. You're not wrong. And so I let this animate first here, because now I get a zombie when I kill it. I don't win every game by a landslide, but when I do, boy, is Kalitas and Tireless Tracker usually involved. Yep. Yeah, and like, while Kalitas isn't a good card against burn, Kalitas can definitely be a piece in a winning puzzle against burn, because once you stabilize the board a little bit, getting in that first hit with Kalitas lets you put the game completely out of range. So while playing a 4-drop that gains you health doesn't beat burn on its own, curving Collective Brutality and Fatal Push and Discard into Kalitas allows you to lock up and win games that you wouldn't otherwise be winning. So, as expected, we've played 3 games in both of our matches so far, but we are undefeated with Black Green Rock. You don't get free wins with this deck, and you're not going to win all of your games, but this deck definitely gives you a lot of micro decisions to give you the best possible chance to win a lot of the games that you're playing. As far as like decks that don't have any genuinely terrible matchups in Modern go, this deck is a very good choice. But I prefer Kalitas or Tasigur and Blue-Black Fairies. Probably Kalitas, because Kalitas can buffer your health total to make your Bitter Blossoms not kill you. Why green-black over Jund? If you think your green-black deck needs another color, you should read my articles here. I have played Black-Green Deathcloud on stream. You can find videos of that on my YouTube channel. As always, a good reminder to anybody who is new here, 100% of my streams get archived on my YouTube channel because I don't steal music. They have their full audio there, so you don't miss anything by not catching me live. I also break them up by decks, so you can watch just the matches that you care about. So if you see me post on Twitter or in the title a sweet deck that you can't quite watch live, be sure to check out the replays on my YouTube after the fact. Eldrazi Temple. So is it a good use of this Collective Brutality to try and find an instant or sorcery in their hand? They probably play Dismember, right? If they're the colorless Eldrazi deck, they could play something like All Is Dust if they're playing Eldrazi Tron. Yeah, I think I'm going to spot check for removal here. There's a good chance this misses, but I think it's an okay shot to take. They are playing bad Tron, confirmed. Their hand is very good, though. They're going to get to go Reshaper, Thought Knot Smasher. Just, like, very solid curve out of them. Not sure we're going to be able to keep up with this. I like Nissa because Nissa is a card that generates card advantage that also is able to be aggressive and apply pressure when we're ready to be aggressive and apply pressure. No blocks, opponent. No, I think fielding them to slow them down is worse than just getting my own cards on the board. I think I'd rather just, like, play this field and, like, get 2 clues next turn. I mean, the best card advantage in Modern is green. So I think we already have card advantage in colors that aren't blue. You could actually argue that the card advantage, that blue card advantage is pretty bad in Modern. So we're going to get Smushered this turn. Is this a Nissa match? It is not. Nissa is for other rock decks as well as Celestial Colonnade decks. My biggest frustration with Legacy as a format is that Tier 2 and 3 Legacy decks tend to be significantly worse than the tiered decks in the format. The decks that are good in Legacy are much, much better on average than the decks that are not good. Whereas Modern is a format where the power level is much flatter because the most absurd cards have largely been banned out of the format, which means you're able to have more balanced gameplay with decks that are slightly lower power levels. So they have Reality Smasher, so almost certainly losing Tarmogoyf here. That would allow us to double spell next turn. Well, that was like what we like to call a good draw in the biz chat. That's what we refer to as a good draw. I'm going to go ahead and fetch a basic forest here. I have plenty of black mana, and should I draw Scavenging Ooze, having copious amounts of green mana is a good thing for us. They have another Reality Smasher. Well, that's not good for us. Unfortunately, this Tarmogoyf means that it's only a 3/4, so I can't actually block either of these Eldrazi profitably. Yep, all of the chat commands can be found at this link. That's actually a good point. Was it worth it to plus Liliana to bin a Liliana so my Goyf could block a Thoughtseize? I actually hadn't thought about that. Maybe that was the better line. I could definitely see that being the case. I just like plussing Liliana was much better there. Huh. It's good food for thought. This actually isn't that far above my average viewer count. My average viewer count is usually between 800 and 1,000 in the afternoons. So I assume I'm going to 4 here. Yeah, plussing was probably good, because then I could have just gone like Edict the next 2 turns. Yeah, I think Chad is correct that I should have plussed the Liliana last turn. Inquisition. That unfortunately doesn't take anything that I care about. I'm going to plus her to empty a card out of their hand. This makes my Goyf a 5/6, but we're still just dead to the Smasher, right? They have another, we know they have a second Smasher in their hand. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Pretty dead there. Booin, I appreciate you just being here to watch. Thanks for stopping by. Everybody should definitely always worry about their own finances before contributing anything here or to any of the other people that stream on Twitch. Oh, I could play the third Lilian Edict. Oh, jeez. Oh, I am not at 100% still. I'm sorry. Yep, super correct. Super correct. Everybody in chat that's wondering why I didn't do that, you are correct. We would have been in an okay spot there. Yep. They would have had Tron online, which meant they would have had a lot of good top decks, but we definitely would have been a decent favorite from that position. Trey gifted a sub. Thank you for the very generous gift, Trey. I think I want to leave in a couple Inquisitions. I'm really not a huge fan of Fulminator Mage in this matchup. I think Damping Sphere is fine, but Fulminator Mage is pretty mediocre. I guess Thoughtseize is better for taking their big dorks. It's probably true. I am currently estimating that we'll have the queue back to the normal donation price at the beginning of August. It's decent. I don't know that that's necessarily true, Bob. I think the fact that Spear turns off their Eldrazi temples as well is a big deal. Is this supposed to be a Nissa match? I guess I could possibly see that being the case. I think I'm going to play Damping Sphere here because I don't want them to crack this for Eldrazi Temple and then Thought-Knot Seer me next turn. Yeah, the Liliana bug was fixed in yesterday's update. No, I don't think so, Lurking Blade. I've just found myself feeling very frustrated the last few times I've played Legacy on stream. And playing Magic on stream while frustrated is not good content. Well, I know there's definitely... Having watched Hearthstone streams, well, I know there's definitely a segment of the population that enjoys watching people sit there and be, like, super salty. I don't think me sitting there being super salty is good content. And I would much rather just, like, not make that content rather than sit there and be frustrated. I think decks like Dead Guy Ale are still by and large much worse than the blue fair decks. Yeah, I assume we're losing this here. Been this basic forest, I think. Yeah, and it's like, it's not even just like, and the money aspect on Magic Online makes it even more frustrating because, like, yesterday when we streamed Legacy, for instance, I basically flushed $24 down the toilet. It cost me $24 to lose in 2 Legacy leagues. So there's in addition to the worst decks being worse on average in Legacy, it also costs you more to play them. I don't think the people that enjoy playing Legacy now would enjoy the things happening to Legacy that would need to happen in order for me to enjoy playing the format. So, like I've often said here on stream, not every format of Magic has to be for every person in the game. I don't enjoy playing Legacy, and if you do, that's great. You can and should enjoy it. My personal enjoyment of Legacy shouldn't impact whether you enjoy the format or not. Hoping to dodge all his dust here. Yep. We're not just dead, but that's definitely not good for us. I think I'm going to play Scooze and just go ham on the graveyards here. I really didn't play Magic competitively when Extended existed. I started playing Magic competitively with New Phyrexia, which was about the time Extended was being phased out. I don't have Blood Moons in the sideboard of Grishelbrand. And that deck wouldn't want Alpine Moon, even if it did have Blood Moon still. Grishelbrand was playing Blood Moon to hose fair decks, not to beat unfair decks. Grishelbrand is naturally good against decks like Tron and Valakut because it just kills them faster. What type of deck box do I use when I play paper? I just have cheap I have a giant stack. Once upon a time, Star City gave people free plastic deck boxes when you signed up for opens, and I have a bunch of them that are still unopened. All right. Can eat a couple of things in response here so they can't Walking Ballista down my Skoos. And here's I only played one Ooze instead of the pair. Yeah, because I wanted to get this one larger than their Eldrazi ASAP. That's a pretty big Tarmogoyf. So I can eat 2 more creatures out of graveyards here, and then still play Tarmogoyf here as a 6/7, which is great. So we're looking to dodge like Karn and another All-Is Dust here, and it looks like we're in a pretty good spot. I don't need to Field of Ruin them. I have Damping Sphere out. So now we have 2 lethal threats in play. All right. Well. Oh, I should have played this first. Well, I guess making them trade this for this isn't the worst for us. I don't know. Taking the Ballista off the table, like, isn't the worst end result here. Kind of depends on what their leftovers are. Maybe I should hold this land for Tireless Tracker as well, since I didn't already play it out. Misfortune, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime. I appreciate it. Hope you got all your stuff sorted on Moto. They got 1 land off of us, basically. It's a weird one in their deck. I'm conceding to any other big play here. I definitely punted that first game potentially by not playing land to the 3rd Liliana, but this is just like a reality smasher. Yeah, that doesn't matter. They actually have a pretty hard time just like racing Kalitas here. Yep, Liliana was fixed with yesterday's update. There's a good chance their last card's a blank. It's not. All right, sweet. Tron's probably hard for fairies. No, I think I just want to pressure them. Like, they're at 5. Like, they're losing this race on board by a lot, so... Oh, they have Ghost Quarter. Duh. Duh, chat. So this is really small, but I'm going to go ahead and Field of Rune them during my opponent's upkeep. And the reason why I'm doing this way if my opponent draws Thought-Knot Seer for the turn, I should actually do this during their draw step. This way if they draw Thought-Knot Seer for the turn, I've triggered Revolt and can Fatal Push it. I want to take this Seagate Wreckage out of commission as well. Because I don't want them to be able to draw a card with Seagate Wreckage. They've already drawn one card with it, and I'd prefer they don't draw a second. Seagate Wreckage can only be activated when their hand is empty. Looking for Liliana or Maelstrom Pulse or Cast Down here. Tireless Tracker feels a little bit bad after having spent our fetches and stuff, but it's better than a brick, I guess. Look at that. Look at that. We're done. This is the best. Yes. I think this is my favorite false comparison that these people keep constantly doing. I should shout expletives at chat, right? It amazes me that they think hate speech and profanities are the same thing. It's like they're very different. I understand that people find profanity offensive as well, but it's offensive for a different reason. Swear words aren't offensive because of something someone can't control. Yeah, and I also understand that swear words can make people uncomfortable, and I'm going to do my best to use less of them on stream because it's not necessary to use them on stream. People are right there. So I agree that swearing is not necessary, and I should try and do it less. But I also think it's absurd to say that hate speech and profanity mean the same thing and are wrong for the same reasons. That's just technically incorrect. Objectively incorrect. This hand doesn't do a whole lot once we take the Goblin Lore. Expletive me, baby. Put this towards Brecken. Put this towards Brecken Blade at least until I find a modern deck to swap to. Sounds good, Brecken Sky. Thanks for the support. We don't have room for your science here, Rev. We've got to talk with our feelings. Nobody's got time for your science. Come on now. Ugh, they drew another Delve threat. So I think because I have this Maelstrom Pulse, I'm gonna take the Tasigur rather than the Gurmag Angler, because I'd rather they have to delve more cards out of their discard piles. Yeah, I agree, Perplexel, with your description there. I think that is apt and reasonable. They discarded Blood Crypt, Swamp. Did they draw another land? They did draw another land. Yep, there's the Hollowed Boy. And the Delve threat. The Hollowed One deck is easily the best deck in Modern right now. I don't think it's particularly close. Yeah, they're really lucky I don't have Stoneforge Mystic. Profanity refers to swear words. Vulgarity, maybe. Is that a word you're familiar with? Vulgar. Words that are considered rude by cultural standards is what profanity means. And people who enjoy using hate speech and attacking people because of their race or religion like to create a straw man argument by saying that profanity is the same thing as doing that, as using hate speech. Why does this card have Menace, chat? Why does it have Menace? I guess I get to put two creatures into play this turn. I definitely want to put Tasigur out. I don't want to delve my land. I need to delve while maximizing my Goyf. So I don't have an instant yet. So I ideally want to leave a sorcery in here. I guess I delve a creature, because creature's likely to end up in the bin as well. I have two Maelstrom Pulses. I can get rid of one of those. Perfect. Yes, this is essentially my black-green rock list. So someone had submitted black-green lock, I think like 2 or 3 times to the queue, and I am iterating on it as we go through. I like this configuration a lot. How'd you pop out the graveyard? There's a little arrow button here, and if you click it, it pops it out into another window that you can move around and off screen and onto your other monitors even. The X button minimizes it back down here and pops it out to the side, and the arrow pops it out altogether. We're actually going to be in an okay spot here. Like, if they attack here, too, like, they could attack and get 2 points of damage in. Like, Tasigur eats the Hollowed One. Putting another Goyf into play is great. And I'm going to hold this land for now in case we draw a Tireless Tracker. No, I don't have a third green, Tom. If playing it let me animate the Treetop Village, I agree that I would play it, but it doesn't. Because I needed green for Tarmogoyf, and I don't have another green to animate this. So I agree with your assessment that if it would let me activate this, I should, but it didn't let me do that. That's true too. Burning Inquiry can turn into something useful. They're at 0 cards here, so if we can find like a Scavenging Ooze plus a way to answer this bird, we're actually going to be in a pretty reasonable spot here. If they run off a few things and let them discard cards, though, these Flame Blight Adepts are going to put us in the ground. I can potentially start activating Tasigur here, but we're pretty on the back foot at this point. I need my human rights violation. Oh no! Oh no! Friendly fire! Someone unbanned Sylvan Librarian. That was unintentional. Get him back. All right, sorry, Sylvan Librarian. We're gonna get a friendly fire emote real soon. We really need one. He's dead, Jim. Get him. Get him. You actually can't take magic artwork directly and use it without getting in trouble. So you need to have rights to use stuff. Like, even the Karn emote that we have is Karn edited to be smiling. Because if you take magic artwork directly, you're breaking all sorts of rules. Alright, well, we got an Inquisition of Kozilek. I think we're dead, chat. This did at least flip an instant into the bin, though, so our Tarmogoyfs are big enough to brawl with Hollowed Ones, which is nice. Majek the Drew, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Here's some free Amazon money. Well, I appreciate you throwing your Amazon money this way this month. Thanks for the support. I think I just passed here, right? We're 2-1. 2-1? Yeah, 2-1. This is game 3 of the 4th match. I want to play the land because if I play the land, I can animate Treetop and activate Tasigur. That's interesting. Okay, yeah, I think you're right that I should have played the land. They're content to kill us with this bird, so it doesn't matter. I think I've activated Tasigur more in this league than every other league I've played this deck in. Abrupt Decay. All right. That lets me... That could make this combat go really well for us, potentially. We also dropped a... The easiest way to get banned on my channel after being hateful is to complain about getting timed out after you come back. Am I supposed to start being aggressive here? Yeah, the issue with Inquisitioning is that I don't want it in the discard pile for Tasigur. I feel like I'm just supposed to pass here one more time. Because I'm kind of short on mana. Next turn. Give to me. That's just a slaughter. We're 2-1 in this league. This is game 1 of the 4th match. I agree that hate speech and profanity are both vulgar, but I think hate speech is more than that. Why is chat going downhill? This is fine. Everything that's happening is fine. We're just like slowly dying to this bird. I think I'm gonna go ahead and Abrupt Decay this. I really don't want to go to 3. Downhill is the only direction chat knows. We could rip... If we rip Scavenging Ooze next turn, we'll just be in an absurd spot. Alright, if we don't rip Scooze, we're going to be pretty dead here. I guess Maelstrom Pulse could potentially pull us into this game too. That's a land. Alright. Alright. Next turn they get to floop their bird back into play. Short Bulbasaur, thank you for checking out, honey. I appreciate it. Thanks for the support. Yeah, I guess I just activate Tasigur and see what happens. Yep, Scooze is a couple cards too late. Does Fatal Push let us live? Fatal Push might let me live. It doesn't though, right? Block, block, block. Fatal Push, take exactly 5. I guess I can go block, block, block. Fatal Push this, take 4. Alright. Then we kill them on the backswing, so they can't alpha me with this Fatal Push, which is great. I think pushing Liliana to 2 there is worth putting a bad card in my discard pile because I want to be able to Edict with Liliana next turn. The best laid plans, chat. The best laid plans. That's fine. This matchup's pretty reasonable for us post-board. Just like bring in our better tools, move on with our lives. I think I want a board like that. I like leaving in some Lilianas. While Liliana often isn't stellar against their smaller creatures, they have a pretty critical mass of large threats that if we can keep the rest of their board clear with something like Scavenging Ooze and spot removal, Liliana the Veil can kill their delve threats and their hallowed ones. I'm just gonna go ahead and run it back like this. I think Gaze of Granite is too expensive here. This is fine. She does what you want her to do, which is provide card advantage while also being aggressive. You could also play like Obnix or like more Last Hope in that slot, but I think I like this up. Was I not dead on the crackback? The problem with the attack is that letting them double block to kill my Tarmogoyfs is pretty bad for me. This scene just doesn't do anything. Seems pretty good. Scavenging Ooze is one of our better cards in this matchup until it gets discarded to Burning Inquiry. Yeah, Last Hope is pretty reasonable in this matchup because she helps keep the Bloodghasts in check when we don't have Scavenging Ooze, because she just like pluses to kill one every turn. Oh no! Oh no, Dono Gaming got hit with friendly fire. I finally got friendly fired. We're gonna push the crap out of a Jackal Pup here on one. I'm officially part of the club. Exactly. See, you get it. I think I'm just going to play this and pass here. I really don't want to play this Scavenging Ooze into a Lightning Bolt or a Fatal Push here. I get an actual kickback when people install Honey via my link, so if you would like to support my stuff and you haven't installed Honey, installing Honey is an absolutely free way for you to support my content here. We do have lots of wonderful emotes, that's true. Yeah, Honey is great. Christy was using Honey before they even approached me. I would love to push this dork off a cliff. Brensdor, thank you for checking out Honey. Langler, thanks for checking out Honey. Kalitas is a good rip here, especially if they burn the removal spell on my Scavenging Ooze to start. Is eating looting worthwhile? I think I just want to pass here, actually. I think I'd rather threaten to eat whatever creature they put in the discard pile. Alright, and now I'm going to go ahead and eat the Faithless Looting in response here. Honey is sweet. That's just a fact. What is Warp World? It's going to be a deck that's built around the Magic card Warp World. Vorial Straz, thank you for checking out, honey. Was it maybe better to push the Bloodghast since you can guaranteed resolve the skews? That's interesting. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Da Big, thank you for checking out, honey. Did you validate your Twitch information, Fenrir? I'm a dumb 3. Thanks for checking out, honey. Trying to decide what archetype to playing in Modern. I'm thinking aggro because I like being in the driver's seat. I hate losing to Tron and ramp decks. Yeah, that seems like a good conclusion to draw. There's a lot of good aggro decks in Modern right now. If you're looking for a tiered deck, both Humans and Hollowed One, the deck we're playing against, are both very good. If you're looking for something a little bit off the beaten path, you definitely want to check out the Landfall aggro deck that we've been playing on stream. We're in a pretty medium spot here. If they have like a Delve threat or a Hollowed One to follow up here, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. No, I think that's pretty incorrect, Burgle. The Hollowed One deck pretty consistently puts a lot of power into play very quickly. Tron needs to be, like, on the play and to have turn 3 Tron to not get run over. I think we're dead, chat. Hollowed One also gets to play cards like Thoughtseize in conjunction with their fast clock, so it makes it pretty reasonable against decks like Tron on average, I think. Right, our 2-0 into the 2-2. Man, folks might get to check 3-0 into 3-2 and 2-0 into 2-3 off their bingo cards. It's been a good day for bingo, huh? All right. I don't know how long I'm going to stand for because I'm still not feeling 100%, but I'm going to stand up for at least this next match. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Let's head on in here and see if we can be a real Modern deck or if we're going to finish a little bit below average. It seems like not impressive, but I think it's in the range of keepable. Obviously, if it's a matchup where Fatal Push isn't good, we're going to be a little bit sad, but Fatal Push on average is pretty good in Modern right now, I think. Just good quality removal. Morning, Jat. I need you to stand so I can pretend like I'm getting a workout. No, I'm not sure Ranger of Venus really solves problems that the Landfall aggro deck has. Between Chandra and Tireless Tracker, the deck already has plenty of tools to grind. And, like, as far as grinding goes, drawing more 1-drops isn't, like, very good grind. Ugh. Probably not going to be a matchup where Fatal Push is good. This is Jeskai Teferi. I think that matchup's pretty bad for us. This matchup was hard before they had Teferi, and Teferi just buries these other mid-range decks. It's very, very difficult for them to keep up with that card. Where's 8-rack on the tier list? I think assigning things to arbitrary tiers is just like pointless and creates arguments. Everybody defines tiers in slightly different ways. The sitting squat. Well, if this tracker can draw 2 cards, maybe we can make up for the fact that we have these fatal pushes that aren't going to do anything. Getting into the trials is very, very good. We played Bant Control the other day, and I talked about how I felt if you were playing a blue-white based control deck in Modern and you don't have at least 2 getting into the trials, I think you're misspelt. I am a big fan of the Endless Horizons Charbelcher blue-white deck we played the other day. I'm sure some of the more traditional people out there will tell you that that deck is bad and silly, but I really like it. Blizzard1434, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime. I appreciate it. Welcome. Yeah, Click plus Gideon really gives you a way to apply pressure nicely, especially in conjunction with Snapcaster Mages. So you don't want to fetch aggressively with your Tireless Tracker out against a removal heavy deck. You want your opponent to target your Tireless Tracker with the removal and then use your fetch land so that way we get the second clue off of it, or they have to spend a second removal spell. And if they're not killing this, well, you know. You see, because of the way I've sequenced here, they actually can't kill this with Lightning Bolt the way things have gone. So yeah, so they're pathing it, which is fine, but I'm going to get another clue out of it. And like the fact that the rest of our hand is really terrible might mean that this card advantage isn't going to be enough, but we definitely gave ourselves the maximum number of cards to draw out of the Tireless Tracker. One of the things I do love about these 2-color decks is having 6 basic lands in our deck feels really good in these matchups a lot of the time in my experience. All right. That gives us something to do with our cards that are bad, potentially. It's been a fatal push here. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised this resolved. I'm expecting like end step Snapcaster Mage or like Bolt into untap Bolt. I assume we're going to get a 2-for-1 out of it, but it's not living. Yeah, it's going to be burn spell here probably. Which is fine. Like clearing burn spells out of their hand means our Treetop Village is more likely to connect, which is nice. Sure. Hopefully we draw another Tireless Tracker next turn, and then we get to go Tracker, make 2 more clues, and like maybe plow through this game. If we keep drawing lands, obviously we're not going to be in this, but if we rip some more threats, we could be in an okay spot. It's a pretty good draw as well. That's a phenomenal draw. Huh. I'm going to play Liliana here, and then plus, and then I'm going to fetch Shock. I think I want to hold the land again just because it makes Tireless Tracker better, which is our best card in the matchup by and large. And they binned another path here, which this is why this sequencing was really important, because they had to discard before they knew we had a threat coming in. Ragnarok with the brand new Twitch Prime support, and there's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. It's going to be a Teferi, yep. Probably tuck the Tasigur here. We didn't tuck the Tasigur. Wow. Okay, so they must have a way to... They must have a way to stop us from killing this Teferi, right? Amazon does own Twitch, that is correct. must have a path, right? So I'm going to go ahead and edict them here. And then I'm going to go ahead and fire up this Treetop Village. And I'm going to try and kill Big Tef here. We're playing 6 basic lands. And obviously, if they can save Big Tef here, we're going to Maelstrom Pulse him. But if I don't need to Maelstrom Pulse him, I prefer not to. Save this for the next threat that they might have. Yep, smells like removal. Yep. And this is actually a pretty good exchange for us, right? Like, now they're down a Snapcaster Mage, and they're doing this because they think they're going to be able to generate more card advantage with this, so it's worth saving. So the fact that I'm going to have this Maelstrom Pulse to clean up is a really big deal here. And I, like, kind of missed points of damage here with my sequencing, but really, because of the way I sequenced, I got a Snapcaster Mage out of their hand, so I think this is fine. Basically, I, like, traded 3 points of damage at their health pool for a Snapcaster Mage out of their hand, which I think is a good exchange for us. Yeah, Treetop Village is a very, very good Magic card. They have another one here. Yep. If they have a removal spell as the last card in their hand for this Treetop Village, we could be in a little bit of trouble here. Although I guess I get to just plus this, right? So this is fine for me. I'm going to leave them with stone nothing. Because, like, even Snapcaster Mage doesn't protect the Jace because this has trample. They're going to, like, Helix my Liliana here. And then I'm going to have, like, Treetop, Tasigur, Goyf versus their nothing. Actually, I think I just Fetch Shock and start activating my Tasigur here. I think I want to just bury them in cards. They're going to be random cards, but I think drawing random cards is good enough. Easily drawn activated Tasigur more this league than my entire time playing this deck in previous leagues too. Yeah, lets me hold Goyf around a Sweeper as well. Malurin, thank you for re-upping your sub for the 2nd month in a row. Thanks for keeping me employed. I do appreciate it. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. What you got? What you got? It's possible I should activate this before doing that. I can do this and crack for 7 and then still activate Tasigur. Tasigur's done some real good work today. Between being a wall and drawing cards and just so many different things. Really just firing on all cylinders, showing the real flexibility of him. I'm going to go drain and discard mode here. Discarding this Inquisition. See where we get. Sweet. I definitely want to fire it off here because I don't want them to be able to kill my Treetop Village. Now the question is, do I play this Goyf out so I have lethal through a Path to Exile? I think I do. I think I just give them a 1-turn window to draw their verdict. So now they're dead through spot removal. The child laughter is actually my children. It was from a video clip that Christy had. Alright, so for this matchup, for starters, winning game 1 here is absurd for us. Especially a game where we drew multiple fatal pushes. Like, God bless you, Tasigur. You really came through. Now, post-board, what am I interested in doing? We get to cut all the fatal pushes because we have Fulminator Mages and Field of Runes to pressure their lands. Collective Brutality is like, not amazing, but fine. Maybe I don't want all 4. We definitely want the Maelstrom Pulses. Thomas McCoy, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime support. I do appreciate it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Maybe Kalitas is too narrow. I kind of like this. What do we think of? What do you think of this 60? I think I like this 60. Also, we have over 1,100 people hanging out this afternoon. That's amazing. Thanks for hanging out, folks. Welcome. I'm here streaming Magic, mostly Modern, 5 days a week. So if you enjoy this stuff, make sure you follow the channel. Yeah, Obstinate Baloth comes in because sometimes the Jeskai deck will burn us out, so the gaining the health is good there, and maxing out on threats that don't die to Lightning Bolt is very valuable. You noticed a running Angler, so the reason why this deck plays Tasigur as opposed to Gurmag Angler is not actually because of his ability, even though the ability it was relevant this league. This deck doesn't have a ton of fetch lands in it and doesn't have things like Thought Scour and Street Wraith and Mishra's Bubble, so we have a harder time getting that many free cards in our discard pile. So I like Tasigur better than Gurmag Angler in this deck because delving up to 6 is easier than delving up to 7. Yeah, I could see trimming an Inquisition. That seems fine. I do like maxing out on threats. We're definitely the beatdown in this matchup. That seems okay. Yeah, too. And we have to balancing our delve creatures with our Tarmogoyfs is also something we very realistically need to think about. A lot of the decks that are playing delve threats today, Gabriel paints, are decks that really care about spending that second black mana. Yeah, this hand's really good, right? It just needs another land, but we're on 25 lands for a reason, so hopefully we'll get there. Any binder that I recommend, I would just go look at whatever Tolarian Community College has recommended. He has a ton of binder reviews. I would love to take your Snapcaster Mage away. So, I know there's definitely some people out there that could make an argument for taking their Serum Visions here to maybe try and land screw them, but there's no way we're killing them before they'd be unland screwed. So I think, like, trying to mana screw them is ambitious here. Yeah, if we hit our third land on time, we're going to be in a great spot. And honestly, they might path this Tarmogoyf, which could get us to our third land on time. Sweet, and they even shocked this in, which, unless they drew exactly Spell Snare, that implies they're going to want to path whatever we have, which would be great for us. Dirty In 12, thank you very much for the brand new tier 1 sub. I really appreciate that. That sucks. Hopefully we draw land next turn. Thanks for keeping me employed here. So they have Path, Verdict, and then one card I don't know. Untapped land, please. They probably drew a Snapcaster Mage. Yep. God, I hate being right sometimes. That was a pretty good sequence from them. Not only did we get punished by not drawing a third land, but they drew Snare into Snare, which really sucks for us. Now, if we get a land here, we're still pretty okay. Their hand doesn't really do anything, right? Their hand is Path, Verdict. Like, this Last Hope eats their Snapcaster Mage, and then this Liliana the Veil eats their hand. Yeah, I think hitting the third land this turn means we're still pretty in this game. They have a hard time taking Last Hope off the table. If they don't hit, like, if they need to hit, like, land into Big Tef, and I'm gonna Fulminator Mage them pretty aggressively here, just to, like, try and make this Last Hope ultimate. I think we Fulminator them off their red sources. I'm not playing around a Cryptic Command here. Just gonna jam. Celestial Purge would be pretty good. Gosh, they drew Cryptic Command? Logic Knot. Whew! Whew, that's way better for us than Cryptic Command. Alright. All right, I will take a Logic Knot. I will happily take a Logic Knot. All right, so definitely plussing here. I think I just need to Stone Rain them, right? Like their way into this game is Teferi, and I just nope, that was not the card I wanted to click. All right, well now we're committed. I definitely wanted to Stone Rain them, but you know, neither here nor there at this point. Whoopsie. All right, my body is ready to get Tefried. I deserve to get Tefried. Thank you for the bits, Mulf Love. I do appreciate it. I mean, if they don't draw exactly big Tef here, we're in a good spot. That's not a big Tef, and we have this Fulminator Mage. Land is so absurd for us here because land means that I get to play this and then plus my Liliana the Veil for free. So I get to take the card out of their hand. Oh gosh. This is so good for us. What if instead we didn't do that? And I definitely want to push for ultimate on her, right? Like, no reason not to. They're never beating her ultimate. So we have Field of Ruin and then Fulminator. No, I want to use the Field of Ruin to kill another future Colonnade, potentially. All right, well, we got there. We proved to be a real modern deck. This build of green black has a lot of play to it against these blue-white decks, huh? I think this matchup is always very close. In my previous experience, I definitely think Jeskai or blue-white has a little bit of a leg up, but the way this build of green black is constructed, especially with the Fulminator Mage in the sideboard, we really have a lot of great tools to bring in. One of the great things about this build is that this build's probably a little bit better against Jeskai and blue-white than things like Jund or Abzan, because one of the ways Jund and Abzan really struggle against blue-white in my experience is that you want to cut things like Fatal Push and Abrupt Decay, but then you die to Celestial Colonnade, whereas this deck gets to cut Fatal Push and Abrupt Decay in those matchups, but because we have Field of Ruin and these copies of Fulminator Mage, we have plenty of ways to interact with Celestial Colonnade still. So we're able to cut a lot of these cards that are actively bad, but still not lose to their best card against us, which is Celestial Colonnade. I did glance over that deck list. I've not played it yet personally, though. All right, was that too much fair magic for anybody else? I feel like, gosh, that was a 2 hour